Welcome
Welcome.
to Shade and the City. I'm your girl Treese.
It's Nels.
And today, y'all, we are here to give you the recap of the WAGs to the Riches, Season 1, Episode 5. I told y'all we'll be right back. And it got something to do with prenups. Go ahead, Nels.
What's up with the prenup? What's up with my prenup?
There we go. So if y'all haven't already, please go ahead and do us a favor and hit that like button for us.
And a subscribe button.
And y'all, we're gonna jump right into it because we got a lot to do tonight, y'all. Y'all got us out here working. You know what I'm saying? It's the end of the month, and we trying to make plans for the weekend. So I guess we gotta put in the hours now so we can enjoy our time on Sunday. But anyway, y'all. So yeah, let's get into it and let's get shady. All right, y'all. So we're starting off episode 5. MJ talks to Sharelle about, her rap career, how she got into it. Apparently, this is something she just started when she had her daughter. Or she was pregnant with her daughter, but she said she always used to write. And so Sharelle lets her know that she's heard a lot of things. But she needs to focus on her goals, basically. I need you to focus. All right. And Sharelle lets her know that, you remind me a lot of my younger self. You remind me when I was young and dumb. But I want you to be, and I think that's all any woman on any planet, especially if you have someone, younger cousins, younger sisters, whatever. When
she can't get caught though.
Right. But I definitely think that when you see them crashing out or not making the best decisions, I think we touched on this a little bit last recap, but it's hard because it's like you want to help them do better, but it's one of those things that that until they go through it and decide for themselves, ain't nothing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
So she lets us know she hired MJ because she was about her business and admit that, she signed off of some 6-figure checks for her. Sharelle tells her that, she's letting her know that they have a meeting with some people that can take them to the next level. Apparently, I forgot LPT. And apparently LPT is a huge brokerage. It's one of the fastest growing brokerage is from what they say. And so, she's like, so this is a big deal for us. If we can merge, we can go from making millions to billions. And who doesn't like that word, right? So, and then Sharelle just jokes about how she's turned basically every girl. And I think I mentioned that on episode 1. I was like, why does it seem like everybody's working for her? But she says she's turned every girl into a real estate agent and so that they could stop selling ass and sell homes. Okay. She says she out here giving back to the community. She changing lives. All right. And so then we see them meet. They sit down for dinner. Ashley's there to join them, as well as, was Portia there or was she not there? I don't know if I remember Portia being there.
No, I think it was just
she was either. And you know what, Portia probably wasn't there because Haiku. But it also, I feel like I've been there for some reason. No, I've been to Hakkasan.
They said it's members only. Apparently, the dude had to give up his day. He has 4 days in the year, and he had to give up his day for the ladies to come.
Oh, I definitely ain't been there.
I said this is probably
no. But I was confusing it with the one inside the Fountain Blue, the Hakkasan. I've been to Hakkasan inside Fountain Blue.
So this is the most.
I don't know. It was just the H for me.
It was the most exclusive stuff I ever seen in my life.
Yeah, no, that was pretty badass. It was, and looking at the pictures, it does look dope. And so apparently, and this makes sense because I was just getting ready to say, I think the reason Portia wasn't there is because we learned Portia is still living in Tampa. And I think I said that. I might not have said it on camera, but remember when they saw that alligator roll up, and I said, that's not, unless somebody is living next to the Everglades in Florida, like in Miami, Florida, that's not common for Miami homes unless you're further north, like Orlando, that's common to have a gator in your backyard.
Mhm.
Tampa, that's absolutely common, but Miami, that's not super common to just have gators rolling around like in your lake, in your gated community in the backyard. That's not.
Mhm.
So that's why I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, she stood sugars in Tampa. I clocked that. Just a little sort of knowledge for y'all. I've been out here in these Florida streets. You know what
You
I'm
so silly.
saying? So,
What she
um,
said? She said she wanted to move to Miami. She said in the episode that she was in Tampa and she wants to move to Miami.
oh, I don't think I clocked that then. Look, okay. Um, so yeah, y'all. So yeah, it's gonna be a big deal. They agree that they're gonna merger and they welcome Allure to LPT Realty because they're gonna be heading up the luxury part of the business, and then they talk about their visions for the launch party. And that's when I was like, this is when y'all shouldn't let MJ talk because she
Girl,
just when I see on the beach and I was like, stop,
direct,
stop
quick.
it.
And then she trying to use the chopstick. She don't know what the hell she doing. She cursed in front of the people. And then talking about the food, how it's different.
You know what's so funny? And I hate to say it because when you called her this word, I felt so bad for her. But what did it say? You can take them out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of them. Okay. It was
Mm,
definitely a hood booger.
child, she was aggravating me. She was aggravating. She needed to be in timeout. So Portia and her husband are going to a doctor's appointment. Um,
You
and
know, it's so funny. I think I only remember his name because that's my daddy's name. So literally all my notes say Andre because
that's
his
her
name,
husband.
yeah, his name is Andre. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't clock that.
Mhm.
Now I said in my notes after telling Keita how nasty it is to have a home birth, here she is talking about how she's interested in one. And I know we talked about this last
Or
episode.
last recap, yeah.
Mhm. Um,
Ain't that funny? I'm
exactly.
just
But
saying.
the doctor told her, listen, it's safer, in case you have anything that happens that goes wrong, it's safer to have your baby in the hospital. And right now she's feeling like Superwoman. She says she can do it all. Okay. She's just trying to balance. Um, then Sade said that her and Robbie have been together for almost 9 years and they're making their way to the altar any day now. Any day now.
That's
Um,
what she said.
She said he had an amazing career at the Jets, the Panthers, and the Dolphins, but he's currently a free agent, like I said, because he didn't get chosen. And she said she loves it because he got all the time in the world for her. They got so much time to spend together because he ain't got no job, man. Um,
Okay, can I just say this because I edited it out because I didn't want to be cruel, right? But I just got to tell the joke, okay? So for the people that don't know, for all the girlies, guys that watch us that may not be into football, y'all know I'm a footballer, right? Please understand that Chosen's name was chosen, okay? Meaning that
he chose it.
he chose it. He wasn't born with this name. And I was explaining to Nels on a level, I said, his name was Robbie Anderson. I'm going to be respectful. We're going to call him by what he wants to be called by now. I said, but it's crazy that he chose the name Chosen only to not be chosen.
And Sade, the only one that chose him.
And clearly he still ain't choosing her because
To make a baby with. And she
I
said
look,
she
I'm waiting on the wedding plans. That's all I'm saying.
she said she's not worried about him getting on another team because he's fast as he's fast, okay, and
He
he's
is
not
fast.
retired.
He is fast. But he's also getting older.
I was
He
about to
was
say, but he said he old. And she said he's not retired, so she thinks it's weird that other people are inserting themselves in their business. Girl, you're on reality TV. That's what everybody did. That's their job. That's how they keep the paycheck coming.
mm,
Getting in the business that you don't want to talk about.
okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's the one thing I felt like Sade coming up here is being naive to think that you don't have to discuss your relationship and what's going on And the fact that, yeah, y'all do want a baby, you do want to get married, but it's, you also have a man who may not have a job, as Nels was saying. And that's very realistic. Like, and honestly, I'm gonna be 100% with you. I feel like if she was more open and she was more candid and less defensive, and I get why she is, she told us why, but I'm sure Ashley can speak to that. I'm sure a lot of, maybe Keita is not, because Tyreek is still fresh in the game. He's still a very top wide receiver to this day. But a lot of those women, though their athletes have retired, they no longer, so they had to go through that phase where you weren't at the top of your game like you were when you started. And they
Mm-hmm.
could probably relate and tell her or give her tips on how to navigate and be supportive to him in this transition. Because, like I said, I've seen many interviews and many situations where these athletes really go through it, especially these footballers. But even basketball people too, they really go through it when that's it for them, and they can't play no more.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I don't know. I just that's the one thing I feel like I wish Sade would have been a little more bit more open, because then we could have got more actual WAGs content of like, this is what our life is. And like, somebody made a comment online, Tokyo Jets. I'm not very familiar with her. But I believe it was a Shade Room or Neighborhood Talk that highlighted it, and she came out and basically was talking about how they wish they would have shown like what it's like having to navigate moving states because your person got traded, and pulling your kids out of school, and and just like that whole dynamic. And I was like, that's very true, because you got to realize, if that person is, you're in Miami and that person gets picked up in Seattle, you now have to move, or you stay in Miami and you're nowhere near your partner, and
Yeah.
you, because you don't want to uproot your kids, and those are real big life decisions. She said there's some wags with degrees managing nursing school and still managing to make games every Sunday. And she was like, it's just so many aspects of the lifestyle that they should have shown that we didn't get to see. And I can absolutely agree with that,
Mm-hmm.
because that's why I like the original WAGs. I felt like they showed a lot of, this is what we're dealing with these men and their careers. But I also like the boss side of this show. I'm not going to take away from Sharelle, and I do like that they show all the ladies are bosses. But anyway, so Sharelle and the ladies show up for the launch party. They make the announcement about the merger with LPT, and how Allure is now heading up the luxury division. Sharelle says she never wants to be the one in the room with the most money or the smartest. I thought this was very smart for her to say. She wants to be around people she can learn and grow from. MJ talks about the significance of the merger. Sade shows up and Sharelle is surprised she made it. Sade says she's happy they could coexist, but also makes it clear she basically has her good eye on Sharelle. Okay. Stony gets there and says that, she's happy that Sharelle is taking accountability for being a bitch, basically. And all the husbands, fiancés, they start to pour in. Portia, Sade, and Stony, they talk outside for a second. Stony says that Sharelle invited her. And so Portia says that, she admits that, I wasn't really feeling you at first. That's a very Virgo thing to do. But,
What is?
she's, what happened?
What is?
To tell her, to just be flat out honest like that and very direct and
Well, she was
abrupt.
saying that she wasn't feeling her mainly because of Sharelle, because Sharelle wasn't feeling her.
Oh, I know, but that was just so you didn't have to add that in. You didn't have to add that in. I wasn't really liking you. That's why I said it's a very Virgo thing to do. I had to let you know I didn't really like you, but
And guess what?
now I do.
We've come a long way. I need you to see the growth.
You
I
see
need,
the agreement? You see the agreement from the
I need,
Virgo?
I need you to see the growth.
I
I didn't want
can't.
you to think that this just like happened out of nowhere.
Um, I can't.
I grew
So basically, she's just hopeful that the ladies can learn to have fun with each other at this point. So Chad is talking to the man about how he wanted to get into real estate himself, but he basically feels like he don't want to have to answer to Sharelle and her be his boss basically. So Ashley is stressing the Phil about how big a deal this is for Allure, and I don't know. I ain't even gonna hold you. I thought it was kind of cute because she's like, there's some major players here for her. And I'm like, you act like your husband, who is a whole retired NFL player, ain't been in room. Like she was teaching it, but it was cute because I'm like, look how the tables have turned. When you used to be in the room with people like that because of him. Now he's in the room because of you. And I thought that was a very full circle moment. It was very cute. I just thought it was funny though, because I was like, why are you talking to him like he don't know half the people in here? Like, um, so yeah, so and she just talks about how, basically they're tapping into the old white communities just like they tap into ours. And I said, well, there you have it. Oh, and then you want me to finish. So then Sharelle goes to sit with Stony, and she lets her know that, she's happy that she came. Sharelle does offer her an apology and admits she felt Stony had a motive. She tells her she thought she didn't want to grow, and that made her distance herself from her. And so Stony isn't sure if the apology is genuine, but she says she's gonna sit back, and basically watch at this point.
Don't believe me, just watch. All right, so Sharelle and Chad met up for dinner with their attorneys. Um,
Woohoo!
yeah, she said that they've been engaged for a little over a year, and their wedding date is set for 2/2/25. That's coming up, y'all. We coming up on it.
That's on Monday, ain't it? Or Sunday? That's on Sunday. We gonna be at brunch,
I,
wondering if they get married or not.
I don't think they made no plans. I don't think, especially after hearing what Chad was
Oh,
saying on.
Chad said he got the place in the venue.
No, did you hear what he said today? He said either I get the money, the business, or the kids, or ain't nothing happening.
Mm.
Everybody was like, "Sure, you had the kids. Take the kids. What? Had the kids." And she said this will be her first time having a wedding because I guess she just went to the courthouse before. So the conversation is about the prenup.
Giving military.
Sharelle proposed that he pay $3 million a year on their anniversary in alimony, and Chad looked like he almost choked. Okay, he said, "Absolutely not, absolutely not." That's happening. He said we could do 15K. Okay, and basically said Sharelle make more than him. Then they decided to just waive the alimony, um, and basically leave with what you came in with. So she wanted some of the podcast, and the attorney spoke up and said that's a non-negotiable. That's a hell no. Sharelle says she's part of the business. Okay, she's part of the business partners. And he told her she's not contractually assigned to them. And he told her that she didn't contribute to the success of his show, and she basically she was just a guest on it. Now, her attorney said that she doesn't even have to be on the podcast to contribute. Basically, you being with her, okay? Her being your wife alone is a contributor. I said, okay,
Right.
you better. And she said she was with him before the podcast even came along. Then his attorney said, how much do you value your percentage? Because I know Chad wants a percentage of your business. Whoo! Sharelle looked like she was ready to flip. Okay, like she was ready to crash out. She said, no, that ain't happening. She said the business was there before they got together, and said he helped her, along the way with connects and stuff, but he didn't help her create it. The
Right.
lawyers, y'all
And at
both.
the end of the day, he benefited from that because when clearly with her being the breadwinner, when she made the money, he made, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, the lawyer said, well, if y'all both want 25% of each other's business, we might as well do away with that as well. And she said that her business was, created before Chad, and his wasn't. Okay, it was created when they got together. His lawyer said, so basically, you're saying that it didn't boom until you came along. Okay, and she said, oh no, I'm sorry. He's basically saying that it didn't boom until Chad came along, and she said, no, I was that bitch before he came. Okay, before I met this
she
man.
said, you gonna put you see the way she snapped and
Yeah.
that neck started.
I said, look, I said, oh, her lawyer said, we're not getting married. Okay, if there's 1%. Okay, and I'll
I
speak.
love when her lawyer said, I'm
She said,
speaking
I'll speak
for
where she
her.
stands
I'm
on that.
speaking for right.
And she said, it sounds like we're pushing back the wedding day. Okay. And Mr. Chad Ocho said, well, that's fine. Then her lawyer brought up an infidelity clause, stating that if he were to cheat, it'd be a $500,000 penalty.
Is that
And
not?
he said, you know what this tells me is she ain't ready to get married.
Can I ask you a question? And I'm sure you probably already know what I'm gonna ask.
Well,
But did that to you not sound like a admission of guilt? Because
I,
I feel like no man that was not cheating or was not planning on cheating on you is going to be concerned about signing an infidelity clause
no. So, you know what? I was waiting for his response on that. And I think actually he answered it the best that he could without admitting guilt.
without implicating himself. Okay.
Exactly. Because he could say, I wasn't necessarily talking because he didn't really address the
Mm-hmm.
infidelity clause. He's saying all these things that you want, we can't come to an agreement on. It sounds like we ain't ready. It sounds like you ain't ready for marriage.
Mm.
So he didn't actually really address the infidelity clause. And I felt like he answered that the best he could because I was waiting. I was waiting for his
Like,
response on.
yeah. So what?
Yeah, I thought he's gonna be like, I know I ain't agreeing to that. Da, da, da. Which then it's like, okay, why would you have a problem with that? But no, he could say collectively, I don't agree with that. We can't come to an agreement, and I think you're just not ready for marriage. I said, oh, you slick. You's a little
Mhm.
slick.
Well, clearly, I mean, so yeah, y'all. That was pretty much it for episode 5 of Wags to Riches. If you guys have not already, please make sure you hit that like button for us.
Make sure you comment
Make sure that you guys are subscribed.
and you hit the notification bell.
And make sure you're following us on all the platforms, the TikTok, IG, the BlueSky, and the Facebook, y'all. And y'all have been listening because literally I feel like every other day I wake up with a notification of somebody else is following us. And I appreciate that. That's what we want you to do. Okay. Don't
Right.
stop doing what you're doing. Don't you stop it. Don't you stop the
Just
music. Hey,
moving.
you don't really want to stop. Hey. But anyway, y'all know we want to thank y'all. We appreciate your support. And yeah, we will catch y'all. We're gonna try to close this out this weekend. But like I said, y'all, we about to be outside, okay, this weekend. So we can bring y'all some members only content. So yeah, so forgive us if we don't close this out till mid next week, but we do plan on close this out very soon. We love y'all. We thank you. Have a good night and be safe this weekend.
Good night.